My mother's grandfather was Haji Hassan Bakhtiari, and he actually traveled in the 1860s 17 times to Mecca and was supposed to actually have lineage back to the Prophet. So his name was Haji Hassan from Burujan, and he would take alms from the nomads, bones, prayers, and he would travel to Mecca. Interestingly enough, his one and only son, my grandfather, being more scientific and not having spent much time with his father, did not really develop the same intensity of faith. But he did develop the intensity of a passion for God. In today's news, as we hear about Egypt, their struggles for freedom, as we hear about Libya, the quest, the hope, the desire for personal expression and sharing, what I hear, in addition to the courage of Islamic people, is genuinely the heart and beauty of an Islamic nation to want and desire freedom. Because Islam is so beautiful in its quest for education and knowledge. And for it not to have that and to have oppression, to me, is not what I ever understood Islam to be. I think that the cultures of those very ancient, magnificent nations that are now catching up in some aspects with democracy, I think they can further develop even the art of democracy. What I thought when I first saw the crisis developing, it reminded me of our forefathers. It only takes a few good men. And the men I thought of were the men who wrote very simple documents. Thomas Jefferson, the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Paine, Common Sense. The Constitution, Alexander Hamilton and the others who helped with that. George Washington in his leadership role. These early documents, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, were basically very simply written. And I think that those documents for our few hundred years of freedom and democracy are like a flower that emit the fragrance of freedom. And somehow human beings keep migrating back to those words. And I definitely think in the political sector, we might hear from some brilliant writers, and they may be very well educated, and they may be not very well educated. It's not all about education, it's about the heart too. And I definitely believe from those countries we might see documents that come to coalesce the desire for political freedom separate from religious freedom, and have a little separation, have a lot of separation of church and state. And this is how I think we've succeeded in America, to honor religious freedom and to separate political necessities for less rigid governing.